If you're a stay-at-home mom and your backup plan in case of divorce is your ex-husband is going to pay alimony and child support, listen up. When I filed for divorce for my ex-husband, he was making over $200,000 a year. I kicked him out in October of 2018. He paid me.
She's spinning the story like this man simply doesn't want to take care of his own child. That's the emotional trigger. It paints him as a deadbeat before anyone even asks why he's hesitant. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. It's not about avoiding responsibility. It's about avoiding extortion. This father isn't running from fatherhood. He's running from a system where one signature can turn co-parenting into a financial hostage situation. Before we dive in, drop a comment, are modern men more delusional? Or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. Think about it. He wants to provide for his kid, but his ex knows the court will back her if she dangles access like a prize. Every visit, every hug, every bedtime story becomes a negotiation. Pay up or miss out. That's not parenting. That's ransom. And the sad part, this isn't some rare isolated case. Family courts across the West reward the parent who weaponizes custody, not the one who actually shows up. It's a game where love gets priced like a monthly subscription. Men are waking up to this trap. That's why more guys are saying, don't even sign the marriage contract. Because once that paper is signed, the state steps into your relationship, and if it ends, the bills don't stop. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a warning. Protect yourself before you fall in love, because the system doesn't love you back.
I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326 a month because he's not working, because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license. So technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week, which I think is kind of a high estimate. I'd put it more at like 0 hours per week. So $326 a month for 2 kids. Fun, right? And this is after I was super gracious and let him keep his parenting time. The guardian ad litem recommended 0.
It's wild how casually she acts like parenting time is some privilege she can snatch away whenever she feels slighted. Listen to the logic here. He only pays $300 a month, so I can block him from seeing his own child. Do you hear how upside down that is? Parenting is not a loyalty card you punch with cash. It's a right and a responsibility that exists whether a man is broke, rich, or somewhere in between. Courts may put a price tag on support, but love and access to your child are not supposed to be for sale. And here's the kicker, she's the one who chose this dynamic. She married a man who didn't work. She had children with him knowing he wasn't a provider. Now she runs to social media to cry foul because the money isn't magically appearing. This is a pattern we see all the time. People make reckless choices, then try to rewrite the rules when reality shows up. Instead of accountability, we get public shaming, threats, and an attempt to weaponize the kid for leverage. Let's be honest, $300 a month doesn't raise a child in 2025. But financial struggle is not a free pass to cut a father out of his child's life. If anything, it should be a reason to cooperate and build stability together. Turning a child into a bargaining chip only guarantees that everybody, especially the kids.
The courts decide in a divorce based on equitable distribution. Equitable distribution does not mean equal division of assets. It means what the court considers fair. The biggest factor the court's looking at is the difference between the parties' incomes. What the court may not consider is if your spouse cheated. If your spouse cheated, it has no bearing on how the assets are going to be allocated between the two of you. The only thing that will matter if your spouse cheated is whether you're going to have to pay them any type of alimony. It's a factor the court would consider if you were making more money. If you make less money than them, the fact that they cheated has no bearing on you.
She's upset because there's no big payout at the end of the marriage, no alimony, no automatic 50-50 split. And that frustration tells you everything. This isn't heartbreak, it's business disappointment. When divorce starts looking like a side hustle, the focus shifts from healing to harvesting. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if a spouse cheats, you are not automatically entitled to half of everything they've built. Cheating is a moral failure, not a financial contract. The law might punish bad behavior in some ways, but it doesn't mean someone gets to cash out on assets they never helped create. Yet modern culture whispers the opposite. Reality shows glamorize, get the bag, breakups. Social media cheers when someone wins the settlement. It trains people to see marriage not as a lifelong bond, but as a potential lottery ticket, love first, payout later. That mindset poisons relationships from day one. If you enter marriage with an exit strategy, you're not committing, you're investing. And when the market crashes, when there's no alimony, no golden parachute, the anger isn't about betrayal. It's about a return on investment that never came. Marriage was never meant to be a financial hustle. It's supposed to be a partnership where both people build, sacrifice, and protect what they create together. Lose that understanding, and the only thing left is paperwork and disappointment.
You also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce.
We were talking about whether there should be no fault divorce or fault divorce. We were also talking about, should there even be marriages today?
Well, I mean, I love marriage. I've done it a few times. So, that's my thing,
A few times.
And I hate to say, in my younger day, I used to see it as a sport. I got married for sports. I did get married for the wrong reasons because a lot of women, they don't know how to, cash in on a marriage.
Oh,
But I had the formula, so I did it for fun.
Wow. Wait. What is the formula for cashing in on a marriage? Marriage just for fun.
Okay, so I kind of figure out the formula for it. I can teach y'all that want me to, but that'll be another service. One thing is with marriages, when you look to marry someone, you also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce. And in a positive way.
Wow. Wait. Say that again.
When you get married to someone, you want to see them as someone you're able to divorce.
She literally admitted it herself. Marriage isn't about love for her. It's a sport. The goal isn't partnership. It's profit. She steps into the relationship already mapping out the exit, calculating the divorce before the vows are even finished. That's not romance. That's a business model. Think about how dangerous that mindset is. A man walks in believing he's building a future. Meanwhile, she's running a playbook. Wedding for the optics, divorce for the payday. Every date night, every anniversary, every I love you becomes part of a long con. This isn't just one manipulative person. It's a symptom of a culture that rewards the hustle. Social media glamorizes secure the bag. Celebrity divorces turn settlements into headlines. Young women watch and learn that if you treat marriage like a game, the prize isn't commitment. It's a payout. Brothers, hear me clearly. Stay far away from anyone who jokes about marrying rich and divorcing richer. Those jokes are test runs. If someone brags about plotting a breakup before the wedding, believe them the first time. Love isn't supposed to come with a business plan. Real partnership is about building together, not cashing out when it's convenient. Protect your heart and your wallet because not every I do is meant to last.
It's not unique. I left a marriage after 15 years. I had 3 kids with the man. I had built a life with him, and I really wanted it to work. Deciding when it was time to leave, deciding that I had tried hard enough, deciding that yes, it was worth to take the risk of the unknown for leaving the known, which I had become very accustomed to over the last 15 years. And even though I was miserable, there was some security to it. There was a little bit of, at least I was comfortable in knowing what to expect. As the years would roll by and every birthday I got the same card that said next year will be better, I somewhere deep inside thought to myself, there's no way. And the only way that my life is going to change is if I leave but I had 3 kids. And I was also thinking, wait, if my happiness means that I'm taking away the kids' happiness, and all of the guilt that came into play of, am I being so selfish that I want to leave this? And is it bad enough? But here's the kicker. The kicker is that if you are in a place where you are absolutely miserable, you're being treated horribly, whatever your circumstances are, but you know in your heart that the only way to change your life is to leave, let me tell you that you will carry guilt with you, that it will be extremely difficult. And when you are looking for people who you're like, okay, well, she left and look how her life turned out, and you're looking for examples, and your mind is researching for the evidence that you're going to be okay, I'm going to tell you that no matter what it is, that's the unknown that's on the other side. If you are in a situation right now where years are passing by and you are still miserable in a relationship and you're not being taken care of and you're not being seen and you're not being heard and you're just being alone in a marriage, the unknown is terrifying, but there's nothing more terrifying than looking back and seeing all the years that you...
The entire conversation was one long monologue about her feelings, her needs, her disappointments. Even when she briefly mentioned the kids, it wasn't about their well-being. It was about soothing her own guilt so she could keep centering herself without feeling like the villain. Notice the pattern. The moment she touches on responsibility, she pivots right back to, if you're not being seen, heard, or taken care of, just leave. It's a script built around self-validation, not family. The husband is reduced to a checklist of what he fails to do, ever a word about what he actually does provide. Ask her for a list of his shortcomings. No problem. She could recite it like a grocery order. But ask her to name the things he contributes, the ways he shows up, and suddenly there's silence. Because when your worldview is fueled by scarcity and grievance, gratitude doesn't even register. This is the danger of modern me-first culture. When relationships are measured only by how perfectly someone caters to you, you'll always feel deprived. No one can keep up with an endless list of unmet expectations, and eventually, even a good partner starts to look invisible. Real love isn't about keeping score, it's about noticing effort, even when it isn't packaged exactly the way you wanted. Ignore that truth, and you'll walk away thinking you're empowered, when in reality you're just lonely with a megaphone.